Hello everyone. It has been a while. As you can see, it's been almost it's been half a year and I'm playing a game that I never played on this channel. Team Fortress 2. I never grew up with this game. I only grew up with a DS. Heck, I never knew what the internet was. So anyway, we're going to be playing some man versus machine, as you probably would tell from the title, but it's a different one. Instead of defending waves of robots, here, I'll just get into it while I'm talking your ears off. So instead of fighting waves of robots, I'll be fighting waves of zombies. Ooh, original. Is it wave 666? No. It's a map. I think it's a map. This is the name of the map. It's a map called Nexus Nightfall _ B38. If you've heard of it, then you might have played it. But for those who do not know, the creator of it took the Brunhoff, I think that's how you pronounce it, the Brunhoff from the more popular MVM for potatoes MVM servers. It even have their own named servers for it. It took the Brunhoff formula, removed and added a few things. And, well, when I say a few things, that's an understatement. So I'll just start listing off the ones right now. So for starters, the zombies, I don't know if it's like this in Brunhoff. I've barely played Brunhoff, which I should. From what I've played, it's a very fun game style of MVM survival. Plus, those tank heavies are ridiculous. Anyway, so I've had lots of fun with this one, but what's so weird about it? Oh, jeez, that is loud. Even OBS was saying that was loud. Anyway, so I do need a vote switch to a different map. So, and if you want to play it, you do it the same way. You go to change map, then you gotta scroll all the way down to the end section, and then you select not that one, this one, MVM _ NightFallNexus _ B38. Call vote, and will be put into that. So while it loads again, so the changes are the most notable ones, at least, is that all classes, excluding Spy, all start with 150 health. Yes, this means that Heavy had his health cut in half. Another thing, classes have had their movement speeds slowed down. Now it differs between classes. Scout, if I recall, I'm pretty sure has a 23% speed reduction, while Engineer has a 2%. I don't know all of their the changes for their speeds, but that's kind of like it. Some have big, others have smaller changes. Now another thing that will drive people insane, and it drove me insane. There is nearly no mobility in this game, at least this version of it. Absolutely none. Scout is unable to double jump. Soldier and Demoman can't rocket jump because that's been disabled. And yeah, the only mobility you really have is movement speed. Graciously enough, the creator actually recently, I think about 2 weeks ago, made a new update which added all classes to have a $2,000 costing 1% speed upgrade that you can buy 20 times for a total of 20%, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, it costed Scout one of his specials, and let me get into that. Specials for these in this game mode are jeez, I had a stroke there. Are $20,000 upgrades. There's 2 of them per class, and it's specifically for them. Scout back then had 2 specials, just like every other class, which was weapon switch 100%. Jeez, I had a stroke again. 100% faster weapon speed swap and 20% movement speed. Unfortunately, also, if you do not recognize the map, this is a modified version of the Machine Attacks episode 14 map. Yeah. We're old, aren't we, people? We're really old. Anyway, so unfortunately, here's just what I mean. So you have health upgrades and explosive headshot. Now, I might be wrong on this claim, but I'm pretty sure almost every non-projectile weapon, so hit scan weapons, can headshot. So this shortstop, for example, it can headshot all of its bullets. Speaking of shots, there is no random bullet spread, and yes, the shortstop unfortunately reloads really slowly. So as you look at 6 and 7, those are the specials, and then you have the move speed and whatnot. Go over here, you just have undo. But this game really punishes you because you really need to make sure you're buying the right upgrades. I don't know if it's like this in Brunhof. I never really invested myself too much into it. What? I thought I equipped the power canteen. That's weird. What the heck? Oh, there we go. Anyway, so yeah, you can upgrade other things. So you have clip size, fire rate, damage. Also, yeah, health and just the way this game scales in difficulty is kind of ridiculous. So you remember how in MVM, giants have about, like, what, 5,000 HP? Yeah, by wave 5, maybe even 3, zombies, the basics that spawn, will have about the same amount of health. That's why damage bonus is 100%. Then you have overclocks, which are basically optional upgrades that you can add to the weapon, which come with both benefits and downsides. Kind of like making your weapon have more side grades. Like hyper agility, at the cost of 30% weapon damage, Scout gets a permanent 15% movement speed. I could go on about this, but I don't want to waste your time. So I bet you want to see this, what this is like. So yeah, you got your melee. And then here, you can get melee range attack, melee cleave. Cleave allows you to hit everything in its range. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's obvious. I bet lots of people are saying like, well, no crap, idiot. But now, set extra loadout items. Custom weapons, and this thing has a lot of them. Pack Puncher, Scaragon version of the Beggar's Bazooka, but I'm old, so I know the right term would be the older version of the Panic Attack. Yes, I am somehow playing a game that I recently, and I somehow know a little bit about it. Roaming Ranger, it's kind of more like it's just, in my opinion, an upgrade. You get more damage, 40% clip size, 20% bullets, more bullets. It's more accurate, just in exchange for slower firing speed and reload time. The reload time is not even a big deal. You just buy one fire, no, not even fire rate, faster reload, and there, it's gone. Also, if you're wondering why my upgrade UI is like this, I played a little bit of machine attacks here and there, and just never ended up getting rid of it, because I'm too lazy to constantly remove a UI that shouldn't really bother me. Anyway, also, this might make people really happy. If you go for engineer, equip the gunslinger. There we go. Oh jeez. Your mini sentry. Do I have this? Your mini sentry becomes a drone now, and it follows wherever you go. Do I have the Wrangler? No, I don't. But it also works with the Wrangler. Doesn't get a shield for the Wrangler, but you could basically aim it. So essentially, you got a pistol secondary weapon as a secondary above you all the time. It's awesome. Very, very strong, especially with one of his specials. Another nice thing is that if you have the gunslinger? No, Wrangler. Jeez, I'm stupid. Equipped, you could make it shoot rockets, bombs, and whatnot. But for this video, I'll be playing as good old soldier. So I'm gonna want to use I want to use the Market Gardener. I'm gonna go with why not? I'll go with the Festus shotgun, and then for his primary, I'm gonna go with the mortar rocket launcher. It's exactly as it sounds. Also, some weapons have been changed. For example, the Market Gardener lets you have voice crack. It lets you have a double jump on soldier. I don't really see the use of it, but hey, it's some form of mobility. And then over here, you could see character attributes, weapon can headshot. If it says that on character attributes, it will always say that as far as I can tell. The weapon can headshot. However, however, not all weapons can headshot. And if that's the case, I'm pretty sure it would say the name of the weapon and then it would say below that, weapon can headshot. I don't know if that's a typo or that's just something with the coding, but if it says the weapon can headshot, as well as your character attribute saying that, then I'm pretty sure the weapon cannot headshot. So, so some weapons have different upgrades, like this one. You get the idea. Honestly, it's really hard to really describe how this game works. It's a better, if you ask me, I would suggest you guys just play it yourself. You can play it on any potato testing server. It's very fun, really, really fun. So anyway, let's begin. Oh, and also I'm gonna probably solo it, but that's fine. So, let's go with the mortar first. So upgrade that. We want rocket specialist for bigger splash. At least I think that's what that does. More damage. Max that out. And yeah. Let's begin. Hopefully my laptop. Yes, I'm using a laptop. I don't have a computer yet. Anyway. Oh, so you do start with $12,000. Anyway, so here are the zombies. Their deal is that if they hit you once, you cannot receive any form of healing. Like heal on hit doesn't work. Med packs doesn't work. So you basically have no means of healing yourself for like about 2 seconds. Not that big of a deal. Anyway, this is what I mean by any weapon can headshot. As you saw, I got a critical hit. And here's why I also like the mortar. Yeah. It's definitely fun. However, I suck at aiming, by the way. If you think I suck at aiming now, oh boy, you would not want to see me playing in a casual lobby, like regular TF2, because, believe it or not, that would probably be considered a nightmare. Also, another note, you want to keep away from these zombies as much as you can, which is why I have a hit scan and a mortar. Mortar for splash, and a get the heck out of my face button, like that. Because, yeah, you see that? One hit took 50 points of my health away. You might think that's ridiculous. And, yeah, you'd be right. But you also can't buy resistances. So, that basically is the game implying, yeah, you kind of want to keep your distance from them. Which, one hand, I don't like that because it means... that means you can't really go all Rambo and just completely... just charge into them. But on the other hand, it also kind of adds some, I guess, aspects of, ooh, I gotta keep my distance, because this is somewhat supposed to be survival, after all. I suck at aiming, as you can tell. These flags here give you specific buffs, like that one gives you the battalion's backup effect. I whiffed that really hard, jeez. Anyway... So yeah, different flags around the map give you different buffs. It's mainly just 2 buffs, really. That one gives you battalion's backup, as long as you're in, like, it's a very small radius. And then the other type is mini crits. Same deal. That's really all about those flags. There's also, if we go over to here, I wonder if the double jumping, or just jumping with this out, because this does have 100% air control. I don't notice. Anyway, over here, they use the man power-up stuff from the machine attacks map that this was. Also, power-ups. They give you temporary power-ups. It's not a guaranteed drop. And also, there's 2 power-ups. If you ever end up playing this game, there are 2 power-ups I suggest you never touch. The random power-up, which appears as a red circle with a red question mark in the center of it. Let's go upgrade. And a nuke. The nuke, well, in early games, don't touch the nuke because it will kill the zombies, but no one gets the money. The random power-up can give you benefits, yeah, but it also could potentially give you downsides, which is not good. I'm gonna upgrade my reload speed on my shotgun. Increase the damage on that. Can I upgrade my shotgun? No. Alright, back to the front line we go. Anyway, you need 300 zombie kills and 20,000 to get this. But do not worry, it's not the kill. You need a 200 kill streak. You need 200 kills on the server. So you're going to end up with 300 or more, no matter what. Wow, I suck. That's a point blank blast and I still couldn't kill it. Jeez. Oh, I'm gonna get trapped. I gotta get out of here. So, what else? Oh yeah, in that same house, up above, there's a class enhancing bonus. It costs actually more. I should mention this too. On some waves, you will get mutants. They're basically bosses. This one is just a basic zombie. It's a soldier. You could tell that they're mutants by 1, they're bigger than other zombies, and 2, they have like an orange aura with like an unusual effect. I don't know what that unusual effect is called, but it's like weird orange cards floating around it. Another thing I should mention is that if you leave zombies alive for too long, they will enrage, which doesn't make the game impossible to win at that point. It just makes it a little harder. Usually, it just makes them move faster and whatnot. Not that big of a deal. My aim, on the other hand, that's kind of ridiculous. Anywho, so yeah, mutants, they just have a lot of HP. This one is just a basic, so just keep your distance. You should be fine. The aura is usually used to help you see it from afar, because here's something I find really cool. You have like a sight range, and they basically limit it, which is really cool. You could see zombies by looking for their glowing green eyes. See, like over there. All you can see is their growing green. Yeah, I know my English. Green. There it is. See, there's the boss. Bosses aren't able to enrage, which, oh, thank God. If you've played this a lot, you would know how bad some enraged zombies weaken zombies. Nice. Which just slows them down. Which, don't get me wrong, is not bad by any means. However, this power-up does not affect newly spawned zombies. At least I don't think it does. So, a suggestion I would have is if you're focusing on a specific tanky zombie, always check behind you, because zombies, unless you have something that can knock them back automatically, ooh, this will increase my sight. There you go. See, it's just a bigger soldier zombie with, I think, 10,000 HP. As I said, the scaling in this game is kind of ridiculous. So yeah, I definitely enjoy this. Yeah, that is 10,000. See, so for example here, I'm focusing on this zombie. I have to constantly check behind me. See, there's a zombie right there. If I didn't pay attention, I could have potentially gotten body blocked, trapped, and would have died very fast. Because in this case, right now, I can only take 2 hits before I die. The third hit would be what kills me. See, right there, that was a close call. If I got hit by those 2 zombies, I'd be in a very bad situation. My suggestion, keep your distance. If you're constantly walking back where it's from a zombie because you're trying to kill it, but it doesn't die instantly, check behind you a lot. Because you could easily be body blocked by even the most weakest of ants. Alright, there we go. So that's wave 2, everyone. You do get a lot of money, but speaking of money, the money system, if the creator of this is watching, I just have a suggestion. The money system in this, in my opinion, is not good. How it works is that basically, the more efficient you are, the more money you're rewarded. Now, on paper, that might sound like a good idea, because why reward the players that aren't really helping the team. But the problem is for someone like if someone's playing medic, for example, he still can heal his teammates, but he has to upgrade his syringe guns and become an ultimate killer for the first like 6 waves before he can actually focus on upgrading his support items or items that are meant for him to support his teammates, because there's no other way for him to get money, because this game can easily outscale people if you do not upgrade properly. And the enrage factor means you can't really just continuously cartooniously, wow, I had a grammar stroke. Anyway, jeez, I whiffed that. So it makes so it kind of makes you have to basically fight over kills, which on one hand does make it a little bit competitive, but with how basically everything two-shot in you, it makes it really hard, because you're simultaneously juggling. Oh, I gotta kill a lot of zombies so I can make myself efficient, while also trying to make yourself not get so like filled over the top with zombies that it's something you can't handle anymore. In soloing, well, that's obviously not a problem because you're soloing. Also, here's another thing. If you ever played Trespasser or Boonhoff, the thing that this has in common with those is that if you're playing solo, or if you're playing with multiple players, if you all die at once, like everyone's dead, you have to start from wave 1. So basically, it's kind of like Left 4 Dead. If everyone is knocked, like if you have one player not knocked down, but everyone else is either dead or are knocked down, and that one remaining player does get knocked down and or killed, that's the whole round. You restart from the beginning of the map or from a checkpoint. I haven't played Left 4 Dead in a while, if I'm being honest. That was a leg spike. Holy crap. I just felt that. So yeah, you start from the beginning, which you could say is punishing, but on the other hand, it kind of benefits new joiners because they don't receive any money. If you didn't notice, I started with about $12,000. Everyone starts with $12,000. The only way you can get more is by killing the zombies. So that means you can be like soloing, or you and a group of other players or friends or whatever could be at like wave 10. If a new player joins, they're going to be practically dead weight, because they're going to be, well, quite literally dead. They won't be able to kill the zombies. They won't have enough survivability. They'll just be the best they can really do is, if they're playing a spy, they would potentially be able to survive longer, but kill zombies and be able to make money. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So, with everyone dying and it resetting is good, because it allows everyone on the server at that time then have a fighting chance to have either an equal amount or have at least some money to at least upgrade themselves and their gear to some good capacity. So, however, if the creator of this ever watches this, I have a suggestion. Just restore the money system to old MVM, if you can. I don't understand coding for this, or whatever. So, if it's obviously not within possibility to somehow restore how MVM money worked beforehand, where it just perfectly divides it with every player, including new people who joined like in the beginning. See, that's a random power up. Don't grab that. Anyway, back to what my tangent was. If the creator is watching this, just if you can, could you maybe add back the old MVM money sharing system? Because it would allow not only new players to enjoy the game, because they might not understand it, and they will feel maybe discouraged to keep trying to play it, because then you have players like me completely unallowing them to try and experiment, because, well, they don't know what is best and how upgrades work, and they won't be able, and because of that, they won't have the money to upgrade anything and keep on track, which might discourage new players. On top of that, new people who just recently joined will also be at the disadvantage of just not being on par with other players. And I could tell you that from first-hand experience. I've joined many times where they are in the middle of a game, even on wave 3. That $12,000, if you don't have a really good weapon like the mortar that could wipe out zombies really well, that has really strong damage, you're not going to have any chances. You're unfortunately not going to get any chance to make money. So like I said, creator, if you're watching this, like whoever you are, if you are watching this, could you try and re-implement the money sharing mechanic? It would help new players enjoy the game with by somehow having new, like the more higher skilled people kind of guide them through it. It also allows new joiners to not fall behind on progression. But if you have a reason why you can, that's fine. Whether it's a coding problem or anything, I completely understand. It's just some slightly improve it. Anyway, tangent over. Let's continue killing zombies. Here's a new one. So, if you've played Left 4 Dead, you might have recognized that. If you haven't, that is a grappler, not a smoker. But if you recognize it as a smoker, that is true. It's technically like a smoker. It basically is a zombie that tries to grapple onto you with its tongue. Just pretend it's a tongue. And it tries to attack you via that way. Unlike Left 4 Dead 2, however, there is... Unlike Left 4 Dead, however, you can still move and fight. You don't require a teammate to come and save you, which is very nice. Now, if you didn't notice the other, like the weird non-head heavy with the weird flying guillotine in its hand, that's right over there. See it right there? That is a headless zombie. My suggestion, keep away from them. They are very tanky. They even have a resistance to melee attacks specifically, and they are slow. So if you're fighting them, use ranged weapons like this. You usually one-shot them, but if you're like me, back before the have Zatoichi, is that what it's called? Before the have Zatoichi was nerfed with the cost increase, if you know, you know. Yeah, these things were a pain to fight, even with max range increase. I mean, they still are. They're quiet, and yeah, you could say they're slow. Slowness doesn't matter if one comes up behind me. Also, this grappler boss, I cannot emphasize how annoying it is. It's basically a stronger grappler, which is exactly the problem. If it grapples onto you and its health is not low enough that you can kill it quick enough, you will die. There's no way you can outrun it because, well, it's grappled onto you, so it's going to continuously attack you until you're dead or it's dead. And at the health it has right now, you can easily guess who will live and who will die. Me. So keep your distance from this. Try and kill it. I think it's going to try and grapple. Nope. It's not. Okay. It is nice that the grappler mutes. Oh, is it going to try and grapple? Can I corner peek? No. Oh, see, that's what I mean. You could... Yeah, see, that's what I mean by headless zombies. They could easily body block you, and they practically deal one-shot damage. So, I know this was not that satisfactory. It was just me mainly just ranting and talking about this. But I'll probably just upload a second video along this later with me just playing the game without explaining anything. This video is already long enough. So, anyway, I am back. And I'm here to stay. Still, I never left to begin with. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you next time. See ya.